do this. Why am I offline? Ugh. Ugh. Why am I offline? Yeah. 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 Oh. It's cool. No, no, I don't wanna. What the heck? Okay. What is this? Oh, time to get up.
Feels good. Thank you.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
Just a bit further now.
Looks like you have what was requested. All that remains now is to drop it off.
delivery terminal to
Hey, Sam, I've been waiting. Decided to take on that order. Okay, I'll check out the cargo then. Look at the shine on this. You're always there just when I need you. Allow me to express my gratitude with this data. Do you have enough materials? Why don't I increase the amount you withdraw from here?
Now displaying your current porter grade.
You are incredible. And with talents like those, you might even catch their eye. The Tarlake twins, that is. I went and shared another music sample with you, by the way. If you can, I would love it if you had a listen. That's right, or so I've heard. They live on the edge of a tar lake to explore the limits of what a human being can handle. Only interested in meeting exceptional folks capable of pushing said limits. Sadly, nobody has come along that fits the bill. Makes for an interesting story, huh? Which has me wondering, what kind of person would be good enough? Yeah, got it from a kindred spirit in the UCA. Stuff that'll hit you right in the Kandha. A classic, too. When you head back to your room, have a listen. For real, you'll be hooked. Again, thank you so much, Sam. It's weird, though. How did something I know I'd stored safely end up in a place like that? Anyway, you might want to keep an eye on your own stuff. Take care, and please come back soon.
order completed. Well done.
I always knew I could rely on you.
Somebody lend me a hand!
Glad you did a little restoration, did you? I'm glad you were able to make it here safe. Hope
Now displaying your current porter grade.
when operational, the mines can provide us with a steady supply of natural resources. And with raw materials like that at your disposal, you'd have an easier time making deliveries. It's a good reason to restore any other mines you happen to come across further down the road. Oh yeah, north of here are some much bigger mines even. Used to be you could find active mines scattered all throughout the continent. Because of the gold rushes, you know. From what I understand, the rail network was pretty extensive before the Death Stranding, and unmanned trains filled to the brim with precious minerals ran day and night. I should mention that we're actually developing a new system that's something of a successor to the old railways. If you head north, you can see it for yourself. We really appreciate your help with this order. Until next time.
Order completed. Well done.
Okay. At our destination. See anything suspicious?
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Been a long time, Sam.
Fuck, how you still alive?
Oh, no, I'm just a ghost. Come to take my revenge on you and that bitch Fragile. All the way from the other side. Of course, there's no point in trying to kill you when you won't stay dead. But there are plenty of other ways to make you suffer. Huh? The kid kicked the bucket, huh? Shame. Goddamn shame. Then what, you just lugging that coffin or pod? Going on a walkabout? Well, that's touching. Even if you don't know a goddamn thing about Lou.
What are you saying?
Huh? Maybe I can't kill you, you won't die, but you can lose everything you love. And torture yourself for the rest of time, knowing that death will never come for you. So you go on your little walkabout. Go wherever you want, but I will be damned if I let you link up this continent. Not because extinction's my creed, though, no. I want to build a world where fear and violence are king. And who do you think will come out on top, Sam? You? With your hippy-dippy network? Or me? With my more rough and tumble methods? I can't wait to find out. Just a good old-fashioned boss fight. Cruelty or collaboration? The eternal choice. Let's put him to the test.
What a hit! Cliche, but that one's gotta hurt. Nice one! That one seems to have done some damage. Oh boy, that must hurt. Well done, Sam. That last attack of yours seems to have left a mark. That was amazing, Sam. Great work. Now let's get this place on the Cairo network.
hell was that thing anyway? It looked like a machine, but none I've ever seen before. Right. We need to assess the situation. You're barely out of breath. Doubt any other porter could hold their own half as well. I hope we can continue to rely on you in the future. This moment's been a long time coming. Please use your Cupid to connect us.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
Great. No issues establishing a chiral network connection. By the way, we've sent some folks out to recover the wreckage of that giant mech that attacked us earlier. Only prudent we study it, you know? If we learn anything of value, we'll be sure to relay it to Drawbridge right away. Thanks again for coming to our rescue.
Sam, this is the President. Due to your tireless efforts, West Fort Knot is now part of the chiral network. A great achievement. I salute you. However, this expansion has done little to address the anomalous activity observed across the continent. Elsewhere, disruptions in the tar currents are growing ever more prevalent. Only by connecting all of Australia can we hope to resolve this situation. And by doing so, we will create the optimal conditions for a new Plategate to manifest as well. We are one step closer to making the chiral verse a reality, and ensuring humanity overcomes extinction. The road ahead is still fraught with peril, but I have the utmost faith in your capabilities. For now, though, please take a well-deserved break aboard the DHV Magellan.
Order complete. Well done.
Was it really Higgs? He's alive.
He called himself a ghost, but
He found a way back from the beach just so he could kill us.
it's definitely his voice I heard. I didn't get a good look at his face, but yeah. He said he came back to get revenge on you and me. Screwing with our plans to link up Australia was just another way to do that.
They were all in red. Just like the ones at your place. That could have been him too.
You think that was Higgs? Did you see him hurt Lou?
I'm not sure.
Fragile, I need you to remember.
only caught a glimpse. But they were all wearing red. This is all my fault. I had him at my mercy on Amelie's beach. If I'd only finished him off, none of this would have happened.
No. You can't blame yourself. You know, something's been bugging me. Something he said. You don't know a goddamn thing about Lou. It hit me after. He's absolutely right. I mean, the kid's whole life is a total mystery to me. So I gotta ask. Can you look into Lou's past? Find out what you can? Charlie, you, the ship's crew, you all have connections within the UCA, right? And at least one of you has to have access to the UCA archives that were recovered by the Chiral Network.
All right, Sam. Let's see what we can find on Lou.
Really, Sam, there's such a thing as too tight. Oh. That must have been quite the nightmare. I can't feel my legs.
Lou.
Sam, this is Tarman. Feeling refreshed, I hope? Thanks to all your hard graft, the DHV Magellan can get around a lot more freely now. More specifically, we can travel between any two facilities that are connected to the chiral network by way of the tar currents. Naturally, this includes Mexico as well. If you're curious about how the folks in the places you visited are getting on, you can catch up on any recent developments by accessing the corpus via your ring terminal. And to have the Magellan travel to a given facility, simply open the map with your ring terminal and chart a course to your destination.
You know, I've been thinking about what happened to Lou. Fragile holds herself personally responsible for those tragic events. If Higgs was indeed behind the attack, then I can understand why she feels that way. Why she blames herself for setting everything in motion. But she's resolved not to let any of it show. To bottle it up and put on a brave face. She didn't used to smoke before, did she? I suspect it's a form of self-punishment she's adopted. Vengeance gives rise to a cycle of violence, and Higgs wouldn't have it any other way. But she's committed to helping you complete this journey, together with Lou, to get you back on your feet. And if she believes she has to bury her emotions and play the part of a hard-nosed commander to do that, she will. That's what I think, anyway. I'm sure you can understand her position. Why don't you try freshening up with a shower?
you refuse, there will be severe repercussions. But what makes you think you have a choice?
Sam, it's Charlie. Another request is ready for you. You'll find it listed as a main order on the DHV Magellan's delivery terminal. So you know, Sam, Fragile is currently looking into Lou. Meanwhile, Tarman is conducting a separate investigation into the giant mech that attacked you earlier. For now, we would like you to focus on extending the network. That is a task only you can handle. As the network grows in size, we will have much more information at our disposal to further our efforts. That said, you won't be able to proceed until the situation at West Fort Knott has been resolved. It appears that they're in dire need of additional supplies, to the point that they don't even have enough to prepare cargo for your next destination. This next order is intended to alleviate the situation. You're to restore the mine north of F1 and its monorail station to working order and link up West Fort Knott. After which, you'll deliver a large quantity of excavated materials from the mine to the settlement by rail. As this is a somewhat complicated order, I'll brief you on the details as you review the map. Anyway, I'd appreciate it if you could make this main order your top priority. All right, Sam. You'll need to work through several steps to complete this order. To begin with, collect the cache of materials waiting for you on the DHV Magellan. Take these to the mine north of F1. The location has been marked for you on your map. And when you arrive there, submit the materials using the terminal on site. This will allow you to restore the facility to working order. Next, access the terminal again to commence mining operations. If all goes well, a large quantity of materials should be extracted. You'll then need to deliver those materials to West Fort Knott. Consider making use of the monorail located at the mine to make life easier. Upon your arrival at F1, use the delivery terminal to submit all the materials for processing and to finally complete the order. That's all there is to it. So begin plotting your route to the mine north of F1. On this occasion, you'll be delivering some heavy materials. You can use a tri-cruiser to transport them. Alternatively, floating carriers can now be fabricated. These carriers are ideal for taking heavy cargo across terrain ill-suited. And when you're not using the carrier for cargo, you can hop aboard and kick the ground and use it as a makeshift skateboard. Just remember that floating carriers require chiral crystals to function, so keep a supply on hand.
done, Sam. I've never seen a working monorail before. Think of all the stuff it could carry. All right then, why don't we extract some materials?
Can anybody hear me? My name's Sam.
Very good, Sam. Now all you have to do is load the extracted materials onto the monorail for transport. Let's begin by accessing that delivery terminal.
Now entering chiral network coverage.
Did you actually manage to restore the monorail? Awesome! With it back up and running, you'll be able to transport materials from the mines. Right. Sorry. Let's take a look at these materials you brought. Would you look at all this? I think it's safe to say we'll have nothing to worry about for a while. We've made some great strides in our research thanks to you. If it's all right, we'd like you to have this. Just wanted to let you know that we're increasing the amount of materials you can withdraw.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
Oh, here's a little something extra as thanks. I got them just for you. Figured they'd suit your style. They sure weren't easy to come by. A real collector's item, I hear. We really appreciate your help. At the risk of stating the obvious, it's going to take an awful lot of resources to restore the other roads and monorails to working order. But at least with this monorail operational, you can bring us large shipments of materials with relatively minimal effort. That's going to go a long way towards getting other sections up and running again. We can fabricate pickup off-roaders now, by the way. I'm pretty fond of them myself. Sure. The monorail network was extensive and once stretched across a good chunk of Australia's coastline. But repeated exposure to timefall has seen it degrade significantly. And with the constant threat of BTs and armed groups, it's not been possible to repair the damage. If you happen to come across a track layer, be sure to feed it any materials you can spare. Even a small contribution will make a difference. Anyway, just something to think about. It's a large four-wheel drive vehicle, boasts significant cargo carrying capacity for the hard-working porter. The driver's seat is in an elevated position and exposed by design. This allows the driver to survey their surroundings more easily and engage enemies with small arms if necessary. You can customize it quite a bit too, attach all kinds of different parts as you like. That said, a lot of parts are still in development, but you'll receive their data as soon as it's ready. The schematics for this vehicle have already been shared with everyone on the Chiral network, which means that we can look forward to other people drafting even more new parts. We're so grateful for the assistance, Sam. You've been a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
You managed to save the day, Sam. The people here now have more than enough supplies for their needs. They should be able to prepare cargo for the next delivery too. But first, I have some information to share with you. About Lou. Return to the DHV Magellan so we can talk.
Order completed. Well done.
Hey, Sam. How's it going? I have updates for you, if you have time.
I take it you've learned more about Lou?
We followed up on the message Deadman left for you at the lab. About how there was another BB-28, not Lou, who, according to the records, was decommissioned 4 years ago. The first time you and Lou met was about 2 years ago now, when you were entrusted with the BB previously issued to Bridges Corp's disposal. And together, the two of you made it all the way across North America.
Deadman and everyone else at Bridges, they all called Lou BB-28.
Right. Because that was Lou's serial number. You see, we found the records for the BB storage facility. By cross-referencing the data, we confirmed that after BB-28 was decommissioned 4 years ago, Lou was assigned the same designation and placed into storage.
So what you're telling me is that instead of getting a new serial number, Lou inherited an old one?
As for Lou's mother, Following the C-section, it seems she passed away. And that pretty much is the extent of our recent discoveries. Without a still mother to provide support, it makes sense that Lou was kept in reserve. But we still have no idea who approved the serial number reassignment, much less why they did it.
Higgs said there were things I didn't know. Maybe this is what he was talking about.
I think it could be.
I want to know everything about Lou.
You're playing his game, Sam. Chasing after the past is what Higgs wants you to do.
I need to know where Lou came from. I have to know.
If you're sure, Sam, I'll keep digging. In the meantime, you should get plenty of rest before your next mission.
Seems Tarman decided to leave a few books for you. Right there, by your bed. Reading is a wonderful way to take your mind off things. Trust me. That's Tarman's son. He must have placed the photograph in here for safekeeping. This is an important memento. Why don't we go and take it to him?
I found this picture in your book. Is this your son? Thank you. Yes. He's still out there somewhere, borne along on the currents, with this right hand of mine. It's due to my connection with said missing piece that I can read the movements of the tar. Something akin to a phantom pain. You want to hear the story?
Sure.
I was both a medical doctor and a geophysics researcher once upon a time. In those days, the tar currents were a key focus of mine. This ship was originally built to facilitate my studies, in fact. The deep tar hunting vessel Magellan, we named it. A ship perfectly suited to pursuing the creatures that thrive in the tar's depths. Another avenue of research, you might say. We called them chiral mammals, for lack of a better name. Seemed like the closest fit. Reckoned if we caught one, we could figure out all the mysteries. The tar, the tides, hell, maybe even the stranding.
Whoa, she's a big one.
Dip yourself in, son.
Tar's looking calm. I'll be fine, Pop. You seeing this? I think she's pregnant. Hey, Pop. This is weird.
Stop! And just like that, the tar took my boy, and my hand along with him. At first, I thought this little guy was my son reborn.
If I may ask a question, the hunters that attacked you after you caught the chiral mammal, are you sure they came from within the creature's womb?
Yes. That said, I'm not of the opinion that the hunters were its offspring.
Its womb merely served as a gateway to the other side.
Indeed. The tar and the beach are connected.
I've known Tarman for quite a while now, but that was the first time I've heard him speak about his son in that fashion. It made me wish that I could do something, anything to ease his burden. But setting aside those feelings, suppose that cat of his is in fact his son reborn. Why does it treat me as though I'm a threat? Does it just hate me? Reincarnation or not, perhaps it's still a cat at heart. Feeling well rested after some quality shut-eye?
Extraction was successful. It was transferred to a sterilized pod and sent to a separate facility. Ready to proceed with corpse disposal? 1.
Vehicle customization service.
destination is the Northern Environmental Observatory. Like its Western counterpart, this observatory is a critical facility that will help us to monitor the changes taking place in the Australian environment. To bring it online, you'll have to navigate the canyon to the northeast of your current position. But before that, you'll need to link up another site en route.
Sam, the next site we want you to link up is called Rainbow Valley. A friend of Drawbridge is waiting for you there. Once the network connection has been established, they'll be joining us on the DHV Magellan. I recruited them myself when we first met in the UCA. You can pick up the order from the delivery terminal. I'm looking forward to seeing you both. Thanks again, Sam.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Sam, there's another porter here. Since you brought this site onto the chiral network, perhaps they thought they could make use of the additional data to make a safe run. Want to go and say hello?
process, bringing... Everything's in pristine Something about the way you work is just inspiring. So I want to give you this data. Hopefully, it'll make your life a bit easier. Do you have enough materials? Why don't I increase the amount you withdraw from here?
Now displaying your current porter grade.
I've got something for you. It's a new version of the shotgun. This model comes with an MP shell grenade launcher. Shotguns can be devastating at close range, but they're not really suited to long-range combat. However, the grenade launcher more than makes up for these range issues. This data was sent to me on the chiral network from people impressed with all your hard work. So, you might say it's the result of your ongoing efforts to connect everybody. Now, while I got you here, let me share another song. I've got a feeling you'll vibe with this one. Kick back and check it out when you can. I really hope to see you again. Later, man.
Are you injured, Sam?
Drawbridge credentials verified. Welcome, Sam.
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted inside facility grounds.
Hold on a minute. Are you Sam? Then does this mean the drawbridge has finally come to the valley? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you could make it. It's an honor to welcome you here.
looks a little rough. But hey, you got it here, and that's really all that matters. We'll be hoping to see more of you in the future. The next step involves the Cupid, yeah? Okay then, let's do this. Now displaying your current porter grade.
The connection looks strong and steady to me. That cargo you brought along is going to make a world of difference, too. It'll allow us to proceed with our terraforming initiative. Hopefully, no more towns will have to suffer the fate of the one down below us. Oh, we've shared our tar cannon data with everyone, by the way. I suspect you'll find it useful in your own work. Try it out. See if it suits your needs. You probably passed the town I mentioned on your way up here. At a glance, it might have looked like nothing more than a cluster of massive boulders. But those were once buildings. Places where people used to live. As the desert kept creeping closer, the town was abandoned overnight. They'd been forced to evacuate. The few who were left behind became BTs. Still, at least the exodus went to plan. There are no void-outs at any rate. This region was once filled with lush vegetation, over which birds soared and serenaded, until all that beautiful life fell prey to sudden desertification. We swore to do everything in our power to bring back what was lost. Around the time we got started, the APAC people showed up. With their help, we've been able to achieve a modest measure of success. But moving forward, we have to find a way to nurture and protect what little we have on our own. Tar cannons are invaluable pieces of equipment that we use to combat forest fires. Now, while fires are a common occurrence in this region, water is a precious resource. So these cannons were developed as extinguishers that utilize the tar contained within the earth itself. They leverage the tar's viscosity, making them one of the most effective methods of combating fire we have. When deployed on the ground, they can both extract and discharge tar simultaneously. You can pick up the cannon and use it on the go as well, but you'll be unable to refill its tar reservoir while doing so. If you find yourself caught in a wildfire, you'll need to figure out when to shoot and when to move in order to make it out alive. Thanks for everything, Sam. You and Drawbridge have helped ensure that these lands will one day be filled with life again. However long it takes. In particular, that comrade of yours has performed absolute miracles for us. If you're looking to link up with them, you'll find them in the ravine on the other side of the river, directly opposite this shelter. Come back and visit anytime.
Right. Time to meet up with our comrade. Let's see. They should be around here somewhere.
nightfall.
Not bad. That's a damn fine fit.
Wait, Sam, you've just dropped some of your cargo.
Just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they send to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying is not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me.
I think I spooked her.
I really couldn't say. I certainly haven't ever seen her dance like that before.
It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me.
Go on, Sam. Follow her into that facility.
Can anybody hear me? Anybody out there? Hello?
Thanks for coming, Sam. I'm sorry about just now. I didn't know who you were at first.
You're the picture of health, Rainey.
You too, little man.
You got some kind of a trick for dealing with timefall?
Rainey, it's been too long.
Fragile.
Can't wait to see you again.
What are we waiting for, Sam? Let's head to the DHV Magellan. Fragile. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet the old-fashioned way. Carograms are great, but nothing beats a hug. Well, I'm sure you already know. This is Rainey. She's a good friend of the cause.
It really is a pleasure to meet you, Sam.
Nice to meet you too.
Glad to see you in good health.
And it's so good to see you all again.
Sam, Charlie here. You may now undertake your next assignment. You can find the relevant main order by accessing the delivery terminal in Rainbow Valley.
You slept well, yes? And you'll only need a short break before we can get to work. I was glad to see Rainey in such high spirits. She's grown so bright and energetic, almost unrecognizable from our first meeting. A pity that her child shows no similar signs of development. Sam, is that Horizon Dreamer I spy in your music collection? That's one of Daiichi Miura's best songs. I'd love to hear it again, to listen and remember my family.
that, Sam.
Good morning. Sam, your next order requires you to recover an escaped kangaroo, the subject of an important experiment. Seems the bushland area it hopped off to is one where the chiral density is extremely high, meaning you'll need to get it back to the animal shelter ASAP to ensure its safety. This is a ticking clock situation, Sam. I'll brief you on the details while you review your map. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal when you're ready to get underway. Hey Sam, Charlie here. Since this is your first order involving the capture and preservation of animals, allow me to provide additional information. The kangaroo you're looking for is somewhere in this area. Once you've arrived, use your Odradek to begin searching for the creature. You can transport the kangaroo in your standard issue animal carrier. No need to fabricate anything unique. Get close enough to the kangaroo and deploy the carrier to capture it. It will be a bulky piece of cargo, but you should be able to carry it on your back like any other container. However, you will need to traverse some heavily wooded mountains as well as rivers and uneven terrain. Bear this in mind when considering what equipment to take with you. All right, time to proceed with route planning and final preparations.
Order accepted. Thank you.
What in the world?
We have a situation, Sam. I'm tracking a fresh bushfire near the injured kangaroo's location. Clock's ticking. Secure the poor little bugger ASAP.
over there! I see the kangaroo! Get close enough to put it in an animal carrier for transport. All right, time to make our getaway. Marked as a dangerous location on your map, Sam. We could get trapped here by the bushfire. Let's keep moving to ensure that doesn't happen. Look out, Sam! Fire! We need to get away from here as quickly as possible. Still not sure how we survived that. Anyway, we have a Cupid to connect, right?
Security measures lifted. Weapons detected. Be advised that usage is restricted in some...
You must be Sam. We've heard all about you from your friends at Drawbridge. Go ahead and connect us to the chiral network.
Thank you, Sam. Don't worry about the fire. Rainey will put it out for us.
Tell me though, who is she exactly?
Must be about 6 months now, since I first heard about the girl who brought the rain.
Whenever I stepped outside, the timefall came. There was nothing that I could do to make it stop. And they hated me for it. Including my parents, who told me to leave. I was the witch who brought the timefall. A monster to be locked up in a cage. A few even tried to burn me alive. The most dedicated witch hunters. I struck out on my own. I was alone for so long. special UCA program, hoping to find purpose as a mother. Hey there. You're safe. But even after I got pregnant, I still couldn't find anyone willing to take me in.
I'm sorry.
No.
We need to leave right now.
Please.
God, get out of here!
Anything to do with me. All they saw was a witch, to be hated and feared. Until that day. I'm so sorry.
Hey there. You're Rainey, aren't you?
Who's asking?
Someone who's been looking for you. For you and your power.
You want my power? Why?
You're a pharmacon. Medicine that can harm, poison that can heal. It's all in how you use it. Want to come work for me? I believe you can save the world.
You do?
There are things only you can accomplish.
Only me. Really?
Really. My name's Fragile. And I'm happy we could finally meet. I'm here for you. For both of you. I'll be your umbrella. And together we'll show the world the hope in your reign. Come on. Who wouldn't want the baby to catch a cold? Come on.
more amazing than we'd heard. Thanks to everything you've done for us, the animals are unharmed and the facilities are holding up just fine. It's a wonderful relief. Anyway, I'll check your orders now. The kangaroo seems to be in fine spirits. You took good care of it, I can tell. I can't believe you found this. We'd all but given up hope. I hope you'll continue to work with us.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
The kangaroo you rescued seems to be alright, thank goodness. Oh, she's so very special to us, and we're relieved to have her back in one piece. Once she's had a bit more time to recuperate, we'll move her to the reserve next door where you can visit anytime you like. By the way, we've uploaded our decoy hologrenade data to the network. You can trigger it remotely once thrown, creating a distraction that'll lure enemies away. It might just save your life if you run afoul of any troublemakers. Well, we first found her in an area with high concentrations of chiralium. How wild animals are affected by prolonged exposure is something we still don't understand completely. But it's thought this may be a key factor in how chiral creatures come into existence. So, you can see why our wee girl would be an invaluable research subject. It's where we look after the animals in our care. The vegetation around here didn't die out like elsewhere, and we still have a reliable water supply. After we screen each animal in our underground facilities, we release them into the reserve and monitor their health over time. When that kangaroo you rescued is strong enough, we'll move her up top where she'll be able to stretch her legs. That being said, changes in the environment can have a profound impact on many species, causing never-before-seen creatures to appear, throwing the ecosystem into chaos. Which is why we strive to preserve native animals here for future generations. Cheers, Sam. You really helped us out. At this rate, we're poised to lose so many native species that predate the Death Stranding. And once they're gone, there's no getting them back. Between the bushfires caused by chiral cinders and animals behaving strangely and getting hurt, it's been pretty bad. But I've heard that these environmental anomalies might be resolved once and for all when Australia is fully linked up. So I've got high expectations for you and your friends. Speaking of which, how would you feel about assisting us with our preservation efforts? It'd be a simple matter of capturing any wild animals you see out on their own and bringing them to us. Even a few would make a real difference. Give it some thought, eh?
Well done, Sam. Return to the DHV Magellan and report to the bridge. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Rainey and her talents.
Order completed. Well done.
Let's take 5.
Hey, Sam, you know that harmonica of yours? Why don't you try playing it for a little bit?
You're such a good kid.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
When she's outside, Rainey's constantly surrounded by timefall. But within a 1.5-meter radius of her body, a different kind of precipitation is observed. We call it core fall. Anything it touches is restored to an earlier state. In other words, it has the power to heal and repair, to counteract timefall's effects. Sadly, people only see the timefall, and not the remarkable woman standing in the eye of the storm. Still no signs of growth?
I should be due any day now. If things were normal, that is. But the baby's still stuck at 7 months.
She has still baby syndrome. Have you ever heard of it?
I met a few preppers in Mexico that had something like that.
They're not isolated cases. It seems to be happening everywhere. Though who knows if it's a syndrome or a symptom of something else.
Simply put, the fetus stops growing at about 7 months. To be clear, it doesn't die, but it no longer moves, as if it's frozen in time. Several treatments, including C-sections, have been attempted. Unfortunately, removal from the womb invariably results in death. And while not all pregnancies are affected, it's yet another contributing factor to the already low birth rate. The Genetic Diversity Conservation Initiative just isn't enough to compensate.
You got any idea what's causing it?
There's speculation that it's due to an imbalance in the beach itself. I'm sure it's been explained to you before that countless individual beaches exist, a multiverse of beaches, so to speak, and that they are all governed by an upper beach on a higher plane. Expansion of the chiral network to cover the whole UCA may have inadvertently disrupted the link to that beach. Or so they think.
BB units were also 7-month-old fetuses. So it's not hard to believe that the beach might very well influence the unborn.
While I can offer you no concrete answer, I can state that the plan to extend the chiral network into the Australian continent, to take it worldwide, is also intended to help restore balance to the aforementioned upper beach. And in doing so, it is possible that we may resolve the issue of still baby syndrome. This request requires you to transport a large quantity of cargo. Careful consideration will need to be given to your route and your means of traversing it. You'll also need to think about what equipment you might need. Only then should you commit to a plan of action. Access the delivery terminal at West Fort Knott to pick up this main order. Oh, and the DHB Magellan can take you there, if need be. Just open your ring terminal and select chart course to request transport.
As usual, Drawbridge can't help but run its people ragged. Sam, been a while since you had a proper shower, wouldn't you say? I was looking into the conditions that led to the bushfire we escaped. It seemed to have been caused by a phenomenon known as chiral cinders. Unlike other items washed up by the currents, cinders violently erupt from the tar and soar through the sky before crashing to the ground. This phenomenon has been observed across the continent and has led to an increase in bushfires. It's one more potential threat to keep an eye out for. Ever wanted to learn more about the various creatures housed at the animal shelter, Sam? Well, there's a speaker outside the facility that they use to broadcast updates. Might be good to check in on some of the animals we've taken there once in a while. I'm so glad that we were able to save that kangaroo's life. It's easy to forget that humans aren't the only creatures affected by the Death Stranding. Protecting our remaining wildlife isn't just the right thing to do. It can also help us to better understand how the environment has changed. Rainey was a vision to behold. To put out that fire so effortlessly. Her powers are incredible, don't you think? The kangaroo you rescued is currently being cared for and studied at the animal shelter. You know, if you ever want to stop by and see how it's doing, I wouldn't object. Are you curious how I maintain my youthful appearance? It's because Rainey lets me shower in her core fall from time to time. Apropos of nothing, Rainey used to be much more quiet and withdrawn. She seemed averse to spending time with people. Dolls, too. It was singing and dancing that got her to open up. I'm something of a performer myself, though I've never showed anyone. Apropos of nothing, the Rainbow Valley greenhouses are the product of our researchers' hard work. And thanks to you and me, those invaluable structures will endure for a good while yet. Come to think of it, there are organisms in this area that I don't believe I've ever laid eyes on before. My understanding is that they're called chiral creatures, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Apparently, they will drain your batteries if you come into contact with them. There may be other deleterious effects for all we know. And really, you shouldn't be bothering them anyway. There's nothing to be gained from it. It's not like they drop coins when defeated. Come to think of it, that masked man, that was Higgs, wasn't it? I had no idea he commanded such terrible powers. To summon a giant mech single-handedly. I expect he's behind recent disruptions to the tar currents, too. Well, you don't have to face him alone, Sam. You have me for backup. Sam, the brigands object to virtually all forms of change. Which begs the question of how they managed to get their hands on that disruptor device, or chiral jammer, doesn't it? Sam, apparently you can create your own custom playlist for the music player. If you have any recommendations, I'm all ears, Sam. I don't really have anything else to say right now. All right, Sam. What do you say we head out and get to work? All right, Sam. What do you say we head out and get to work? Sam, aren't you feeling eager to begin your next order? Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica. Sam, I think it's high time we get going. All this relaxation is no good for my sciatica. All right, Sam. All right, Sam. What do you say we...
Hi, Sam.
Please select a destination.
Good morning to you.
Disengaging weapons restrictions.
Take care, Sam.
Are you okay, Sam?
Everything's okay.
Sam, it's Charlie. I'm pleased to inform you that you can now use the map on your ring terminal to check the weather forecast. We utilize information provided by Rainey, as well as local historical data, to make predictions. Take them into consideration when plotting your routes.
Order accepted. Thank you.
Sam, Tarman here. A short while ago, the tar currents became incredibly unstable. It's gotten so bad that the DHV Magellan can't travel safely. We're still looking into what might have caused this, and we'll be in touch the second we know more.
Are you Sam? Then does that mean you carried this hefty delivery all the way from West Fort Knott? Way to make an entrance. We welcome you with open arms. Now let's get this cargo of yours processed. Okay, I'd say this degree of damage is acceptable. Good work. I hope you'll continue to support us in the days ahead. All right. Can you connect your Cupid to our facility? And to make your job... Oh, right. Introducing the Blood Boomerang. Throw it properly, and it'll come right back to your hand. It's a reusable weapon in that regard. Folds up nicely, too, so it's quite easy to carry. You'll find it's especially effective against BTs, so give it a try against the next one you meet. With the aid of your network, we should also be able to develop stronger measures to defend against belligerents, which we need since the brigands out west have rapidly improved their arsenal in recent days. Honestly, you couldn't have gotten here at a better time. Thanks be to you, we'll finally be able to focus on our research. As the chiral network has expanded, we're seeing more and more anomalies outside of the bounds of its coverage. This has led the brigands to conclude that the network itself is responsible for the worsening state of the world, which is why they're opposed to its expansion. But it's not like we can sit back and do nothing. If we don't try to improve things, humanity's doomed to go extinct. One day they started sporting a whole lot more weaponry, including grenade launchers with custom tranquilizing gas rounds. Thing is, the brigands don't have a chiral printer at their base as far as we know. So, where'd they get all the new hardware all of a sudden? Kind of worrying, don't you think? At this observatory, we focus on monitoring the behavior of tar currents. There's a patch of BT territory due north of here, and just beyond it is land that's currently being subsumed by tar. There's no telling when the facility will be lost to the tar as well. So it's important that we contribute to the research and development of countermeasures while we can. Incidents of tar current instability have grown more frequent, but we haven't been able to determine much more than that thus far. Thanks to the chiral network, though, we expect we'll be able to improve our instrument accuracy. After I moved to Australia, the locals learned me all the ins and outs of the boomerang. I then designed a new type that's effective against BTs as well. You infuse it with Doom's blood before throwing it. The bigger the charge, naturally, most people would have to rely on blood bags sourced from donors, but since you have Dooms, you can also use your own blood on the spot. Unlike traditional firearms, it hardly makes noise. If your enemies don't actually see you throw it, they'll have a hard time finding you. That said, don't expect it to do too much damage to humans. Not unless you manage to hit them in just the right spot, at least. We appreciate the help. Best of luck to you, Sam. The tar currents are acting up again. Guess it's back to work for me. Let's both keep on keeping on.
That was excellent work, Sam. Thanks to you, the better part of the Western continent has access to our services. Now it's time for you to head north and continue to expand network coverage. It is imperative that you connect all of Australia, stabilizing the environment and eliminating the remaining anomalies. There will be challenges, of course, but I know you have what it takes to overcome them. I expect more great things from you, in short.
Sam, this is Tom here. We believe that we finally determined the location of whatever's thrown the tar currents into chaos. The chiralium levels there are pretty high, though, and BTs are almost certain to be present as well. I hate to ask, but would you mind taking a look for us? It's close to your current position. I've sent you the coordinates. We're counting on you, Sam.
Order completed.